AI is everywhere. It's changing everything. And it all runs on these new kinds of factories that are popping up all over the place, AI data centers. But here's the thing. These aren't your typical industrial projects, and a lot of communities are kind of left scratching their heads, wondering what their arrival really means. So let's dig into the promises and the hidden costs they don't always talk about.
So picture this. It usually starts with a really fantastic pitch. A developer shows up, they've got this slick presentation, and they're promising to bring your town right into the future. You're going to hear all about high-tech jobs, a bigger tax base, a spot on the cutting edge of innovation. And look, it's a compelling vision, for sure.
But what if that vision is, well, incomplete? What if the numbers are being presented in a way that kind of minimizes the costs and maybe inflates the benefits? It's time to pull back the curtain on some of the hidden costs that developers are often hoping you won't even think to ask about.
And the very first place we gotta look is at the most basic stuff. The resources these places consume in truly, and I mean truly staggering amounts. Power and water.
Right, so it's not just about how much power they use, it's how they use it. You gotta think of an AI data center like this hungry beast that literally never, ever sleeps. It puts this constant, inflexible strain on the power grid. It's completely different from a factory that, shuts down at 5 p.m. and gives the grid a break.
And this is where you start to see the developer's playbook. They might kick things off with a power estimate that seems, manageable. But those numbers often don't account for future growth. They'll tell you, oh, the grid can handle it. But you gotta ask, okay, but who's paying for the massive upgrades that are gonna be needed? And when they promise clean energy, the real question is, can you show me the proof from a third party?
Just let that sink in for a second. Not a neighborhood, not a couple of blocks, but an entire city's worth of water every single day. And that's just for one facility. The scale is it's hard to wrap your head around. And it puts this incredible pressure on local water supplies. And this is where a kind of shell game can get played with resources. See, there's no magic bullet for cooling these things. A developer might come in bragging about their power-efficient cooling system, but kind of forget to mention it uses millions of gallons of water. Or they'll highlight their water-free cooling without mentioning that it could literally double the electricity demand. It's always a trade-off, and guess who's left paying the price? The community. This right here, this is the question that just cuts right to the heart of it all. When resources get scarce, when there's a drought, who comes first? Because some communities have already signed contracts that give data centers priority water rights, which means, residents could face water restrictions while the data center just keeps on humming at full capacity. Okay, so this huge strain on resources doesn't just impact the environment. It can hit you right in the wallet, too. The impact isn't just on rivers and power lines. We're talking about your monthly bills.
You need to know this term, socialized costs. It's a fancy way of saying that when massive infrastructure upgrades, like, say, a brand new power substation needed for just one private company, are paid for by everyone in the community through higher electricity rates. So the benefit goes to one corporation, but the bill goes to everybody.
And on top of that, these data centers often negotiate for themselves special discounted electricity rates. But the utility company still has to cover its costs, right? So who makes up the difference? You do. Your residential rates can actually go up just to subsidize cheaper power for the new industrial giant in town. I mean, imagine an extra $15 on your monthly bill just to help a multi-billion-dollar company save a little on theirs. It's basically a transfer of wealth from your pocket to theirs. So beyond the power, the water, and the money, there's another cost. It's one that's a lot harder to put a number on, but it's just as real. The fundamental change to the character and the quality of life in your own community. And this is one of the most subtle ways communities can be misled. A developer presents their project like it's a one-time thing, a single building. But approving that one data center, it's like opening a door. It sends a signal to the entire industry that your town is open for business. And pretty soon, one project turns into 2, and then 5. And that's when the cumulative effects really start to bite. The strain on the power grid isn't just from one place anymore. The water draw gets multiplied, construction traffic feels like it's constant, and all of a sudden, land that could have been used for homes or parks is now an industrial zone. And that can drive up rents and push longtime residents right out. This is the real gut check question, isn't it? If a community approves that first project without really thinking about the long-term, cumulative impact, it can unknowingly start down a path where corporate interests start taking priority over the well-being of the actual people who live there. So, faced with all this really complex challenge, what can a community actually do? Well, the good news is there's a pretty clear playbook for demanding transparency and making sure that any development serves the people, not just the developers. First off, it is absolutely crucial to demand independent analysis that you control, not just the studies the developer gives you. Second, you have to evaluate the cumulative impact. What does our town look like with 5 of these things, not just one? Third, build coalitions. Talk to your neighboring towns, because trust me, this is a regional issue. And finally, you always have to hold firm to the idea that community welfare comes first, period. And you gotta get specific. Demand real-time public dashboards for things like noise and water use, not just some annual report that can hide problems. Make the developer pay for the new fire equipment and the training your town is gonna need. And always ask, what's the opportunity cost? What else could we be doing with this land that might serve our community better? You know, this right here is the fundamental shift in thinking that empowers a community. The burden of proof should not be on you to prove that a project is harmful. No, the burden of proof is on them to prove with verifiable independent data that it is genuinely beneficial for you. So the next time a project like this comes knocking on your town's door, the question isn't just what is being built. The real question, the one you need to ask is, whose future is being built? Is it a future that serves some distant corporation, or is it one that serves the families and the residents who actually call this place home?